welcome into the Game 79 Bruins fan review. The game that happened last night on April 3rd against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And let's talk about the blown opportunity that the Bruins had tonight. The Bruins could have really basically tied up the Atlantic Division for themselves and be able to rest their players. Which, if you watch the game tonight, you'd realize they need some rest. The boys look gassed tonight. They look like they had nothing left in the tank, and this is the second straight game they've been flat out outskated by their opponents. Sunday, Easter against the Flyers, they had a little bit of an excuse because they had just played Saturday, a back-to-back. You know, it happens. You had to travel the night before. But this time they had a day off in Tampa Bay. You know, I don't know if they went to the beach and got some sunburns or something, but this was an awful performance by the Bruins. They did not show up. They just didn't look like they were ready to play. They were going for the series sweep tonight because they had beaten Tampa the 3 times they played them this year. This would have been to win all 4. We've absolutely smoked Tampa in all the games, so Tampa had something to prove. That's no excuse that Tampa had something to prove, though, because we had something to gain here, and we looked like we didn't even want it. We were very physical for the first period. We came out looking like we were in it. We wanted it. Even though we were being outchanced and outplayed by Tampa a little, we were there. We were physical. After that, it just died. We looked like we not really quit, but just weren't trying as hard or just didn't have the legs to compete. Tampa absolutely obliterated us. Some notable things: Charlie McAvoy returned, which is nice to see. Wasn't his best shape tonight, but you know, he's a young kid. He's gonna take a game or two to get back, and then he's gonna be back up to speed, I'd think, unless that injury's still nagging him. It's good to see Charlie back. We definitely need him. On the other news, one comes in, one goes out. Brandon Carlo is done for the season. He broke his ankle, as I was mentioning. I didn't think it looked good. Didn't look good. He's out for the season. Second straight year, he's played the whole regular season for the most part and will miss the postseason. I feel for Brandon Carlo, especially since he was playing his best hockey coming down the stretch here. He's really starting to turn on. The 21-year-old was starting to show his true potential, and it's really a shame he can't play the playoffs, and he hasn't played at all in his whole career. Colby Cave came in, which is just kind of a depth move. Wingles is out on a rest, but Wingles hasn't played much. So they probably saw something they didn't like on Wingles. Cave not really noticeable tonight, but you know, he wasn't really the reason we lost, nor did I expect him to be the reason we were going to win. Nash and Nash are both out. Riley Nash is still, he can't even put a helmet on. Rick Nash, don't really know what's going on there, but I've heard he's making progress, which is what you like to hear. And as I say, we could have seized the Atlantic Crown tonight, but the boys just didn't want it. That's all I can say. Either they didn't have the legs to get it, or they didn't want it. It was a bad performance. First period. Physical early. As you'd expect this to be like a playoff game all the way through. For Tampa, they played like it was a playoff game all the way through. The Bruins, no, they did not. Tampa had the better chances early and the whole game. I took those notes during watching the game. I thought it was just going to be early. No, whole game. 7 minutes in, insane save increase by Bergeron. Tuukka a little out of position because he made a save on the other shot. I think it was Kucherov who shot it, and Bergeron makes the leg save. Great save by Bergeron. Annual Selke nominee, sometimes a winner. You know, he's an extremely good defender, and you expect him to make those types of plays here and there. Hopefully he doesn't have to make too many of them, but, you know, good play. Bruins had a dominant shift late in the first, the Bergeron line. Bergeron hit the post, which I think would probably be the closest we came to scoring, or there was 3 good attempts. A Marchand breakaway and a Pastrnak breakaway, and we'll get to those. Pastrnak would go to the box with 7 seconds left in the period. And, yeah. So, first period, looks like it's going to be a decent game. 0-0, playoff-like atmosphere, they're physical. Second period comes around, Pasternak's, the penalty's killed, good kill. They hit up Pastrnak right after he gets out of the box, and he has just Vasilevsky to beat. But the young rookie, another good young defenseman, Mikhail Sergachev, comes from behind and gives him a little fish hook around the gut. Should have been a penalty shot, in my opinion. I don't think the refs wanted to call it because they would have had to give a penalty shot, and they did not want to have to do that in this game. Weak move by the refs. This should have been a penalty call. And if they get this goal here, who knows how the game goes. So you never know, but it's definitely not the reason we lost. But it could have been the reason we didn't win, which is a weird way to phrase it. But it is what it is. 4 minutes in, Giunta scores. The puck pops up in the air. He kind of high sticks it down. It's going to get called back. He's the first one to touch. He puts it in the net, but it doesn't matter because he played it with a high stick. Correct call on the play. Unfortunate break for us. And as things happen in hockey so many times, right after a bad thing happens to you, another bad thing happens to you. And 1 to 2 minutes later, Kucherov, great move in the neutral zone to get into the Bruins zone. Passes across the zone to Braden Point. Braden Point takes a wrister. It's just a regular wrister. And it's behind Tuukka Rask. This is terrible. It's a weak wrister. He saves this 9 out of 10 times. Goes right by him. And I'm just sitting there like, really, Tuukka? That's awful. That's terrible. You know, Tuukka's been good as of late, so like I can't get too mad at him, but this is terrible. This is a backbreaker because you just had that call go against you where Pastrnak didn't get the penalty shot, then Gionta scores, but it's not a goal, and now that's 3 things in a row that didn't go your way, and just like momentum completely killed right there in my opinion. After this point, you kind of got the feeling that like Tampa would probably put their foot on the gas pedal, and hopefully we'd be able to keep up, but we just weren't able to. 1-0 Tampa after this. A little over halfway mark. Hedman has a one-timer seeing eye shot that finds the right post and in. Ryan Callahan on the opposite side takes a slap shot, misses wide right by a lot. Bangs around the boards, comes up to the left point. Braden Coburn goes down the boards. Does a nice little like behind the back pass to Victor Hedman. Victor Hedman one-times it. He's looking for anything here. He's not like, he's going for on net to try to create something in front. He gets lucky and hits post in. And Tuukka can't see it because Cedric Paquette does a nice screen on him. And this is when you just kind of tip your cap to because Tuukka can't see it. Cedric Paquette gets there at the perfect timing, so like you can't clear him out in time. It just finds post in. It's like the perfect shot off of just let's hope it finds something in front of the net, Hedman says, and it finds post in. 2-0 Tampa, another backbreaker here. These are all very unfortunate goals to go in and very unfortunate things that happened to us, but their legs weren't there, which is why Tampa was able to get these opportunities. Like that Kucherov move when he would pass it to Point before Point scored that weak wrister, he just skated around Marchand, Bergeron, and Pastrnak. He beat all 3 of them, and, you know, not a good look. 2-0 Tampa, he tipped the cap. 5:33 left, no icing called in the Kunitz goal. I thought it was icing live, but refs don't call it. Sometimes they don't go your way. Giardi, great pass from D-zone to the Bruins blue line. Callahan takes it towards net, throws it in front of net. Rask with awful rebound control. It pops right out in front. It's fighting for the puck. A Tampa guy gets it first, and the Tampa guy is the ultimate opportunist, Chris Kunitz, and he puts it in the back of the net. Bad rebound control by Tuukka. He has to find a way to keep this in front of him or get it to behind the net. He does not. It puts the defenseman in a very bad position, and Tampa goes up 3-0, and you felt like we were done at this point. Bruce Cassidy challenges it. It's kind of like a timeout, kind of hoping that Paquette like maybe got enough to call goal interference. I personally didn't think it was enough to overturn it. I thought Paquette was just going for the puck in the crease, and Tuukka clipped him barely. I don't know, people really thought this should have been overturned. I didn't personally. We lose our timeout, which at this point Tampa's up 3-0. You're thinking like, well, I mean, that might not have been a bad challenge because it's also like you have a timeout, so you can talk to the boys and all that. So I wasn't really too upset with that. I thought it was okay to challenge that because you never know with how they call goaltender interference in this league. 4 minutes left in second. Marchand speed creates a great breakaway. Vasilevsky, though, makes a great stop on his move. Marchand kind of loses the puck. It almost finds its way in. But Vasilevsky's a good goaltender, and on that angle, he's probably going to save that. But Marchand, he's a crafty one, so you never know when he's going to put it in. Awful second period. They just weren't skating, which is why Tampa got these chances. Yes, Tampa got very lucky, but the Bruins did not help themselves by skating, which is big in hockey. They just looked done in this game at this point. I was watching this on DVR because I had a beer league game tonight, so like I was watching. I watched a 4-0 loss that I knew was a 4-0 loss like 2 hours after the game. Please feel bad for me. I willingly went into that, and I didn't feel any better coming out of it than as I did going into it. Third, 2.5 minutes in, Krejci in Tampa zone, passes to DeBrusk, and this is how you know it's just not your night. DeBrusk gets the puck, falls, and this creates a 2-on-1 against Chara. It is Miller and Tyler Johnson. Miller decides, you know what, Chara's kind of big, and he's going to make this pass kind of hard. I'm just going to go top shelf, and he goes top shelf. You want to get a save it, but that's just a really nice shot. Tip the cap again, which is what you're doing a lot tonight with all these dumb mistakes. DeBrusk in the second line. I really hate this second line combo, Krejci, Donato, and DeBrusk. I don't know, maybe it's a gelling period and they'll get it eventually, but I really want Rick Nash back, and I want him on that line. He controls the play. He can really get the puck in the zone and hold it. I feel like all three of these players are very, what's the word? They're more like skill-based, not really like physical. I feel like they try to do too much sometimes to create, whereas like Nash like can create without trying more than these guys, even though I don't know, I just really don't like this combo. It really just hasn't done anything for us yet. Anyway, I don't really blame this goal on Char. I blame it on DeBrusk for losing an edge and falling. They just didn't have their legs. They just look sloppy. Bruins don't come back and we lose. There was no other notes to take after this because nothing really mattered after that 4-0 goal in the early third. I mean, it was just a backbreaker at that point. You're like, oh, maybe a comeback, maybe, and then DeBrusk just falls, and just wasn't going our way. Some notes I had. Backus. I didn't realize he was on the ice until 5 minutes left in the third. He was nowhere to be found. You expect David Backus for $6 million a year to be, if he's not scoring, at least bring the physical play. You are known for just getting in people's faces and being like I don't know. I didn't see him laying the body much. He usually gets the team going with big hits, turnovers, and all that. Like, creating turnovers, that is, not giving them up. But he just wasn't bringing that tonight. Maybe his legs are shot, and maybe that, like, cut in his leg. I don't know. Maybe give Backus a night off. I don't know. He just looked cooked. That second line's a bad combo. Already went over that. No need to go into that anymore. You guys know how I feel. Want Nash back. Kevin Miller had a good night. Might as well talk about positive here. Can't remember Kevin Miller really making many mistakes. I really think they should go Krug and Miller, Chara and McAvoy, and then play the third pair not as much. That's my opinion. I think that's what they should do. Lazy team tonight. And the thing that really bothers me, too, is this is one game. You win this one game, you can rest for a week and a half. The fact they couldn't muster up any energy to compete with Tampa for 3 periods bothers me. And it should bother you, too. Because when you see a team in a huge game to clinch the division not show up at all, that just shows you that maybe it's not a concern for the playoffs because you get a little rest before the playoffs, but for clinching the Atlantic, you got to be pretty concerned because even though you have that game in hand, they mean nothing if you can't win. And if you have no legs, you're not going to win this league. I don't care if it's Ottawa. Ottawa hates us. They're going to show up on Saturday and they're going to try to kill us, even though they have nothing to play for. They don't like us. They're going to show up. They're going to try to kick us in the no-no area one more time because that's what Ottawa does to us every year. Fun fact, this is the first time in 3 years our season is not going to end on a loss to Ottawa. That's sad that happened 3 years in a row, but I mean, at least it's not happening this year. But they can get us on Saturday and really affect us in the standings, which I bet they'd love to do. Looked like Tampa was faster. Tampa had something to prove. You expect them. I expected the Tampa win tonight. I honestly did. After we killed them the other night, I did not expect the Bruins to get killed like this, though. This is just bad. Puck look wasn't there, but we didn't do much to help it. Again, skating. You're not skating, you're not going to get anything. We could have clinched. That's why it's so sad to see them play like this. You could have had a good week, basically. You play Tampa. No, you play Florida, Ottawa, Florida. You needed 1 point against in any of those games to clinch the division if you win tonight. Maybe not even if Tampa had lost or dropped a point to anyone in their last 2 games. That's all you needed. That's all you needed if you won tonight. But you didn't show up, you didn't earn it, you don't deserve it. Gianta had a solid game. And the last thing I want to go over before I end the video, I'm not going over stats because guess what? We had 0 goals. They didn't change. I'll go over standings, but But are the Bruins cooked for the regular season? I'm not worried about the postseason with them as much as I'm worried about getting the first seed. Are their legs gone? Because this is 2 straight games where they've looked slow, in my opinion. Yes, they came back and got a point versus Philly, but remember, they really had to work in the third, and they did not work that hard in the first and second. And are you worried that they won't get the Atlantic, or do you think it's just an off night? They didn't have their legs, an off night, and they'll be back to form on Thursday against Florida. I hope so, but I don't know so. If they show up against Florida and they look slow again, Florida has a lot to play for. I'll go over that in the standings. But I don't know. I think if they don't show up and they skate slow on Thursday, I'm pretty sure Tampa will win the division if we don't win Thursday. That's just how I'm feeling. Anyway, that's enough about the game. I'll go over the standings and like the situations now. But you should be a little concerned about first place now. Maybe not like panic button like DEFCON 5, but you should be a little concerned. All right, now to the standings. I'm gonna stand. Nah, you can't see me over there. I'm gonna stand here. Okay. So the Capitals are locked into the first seed. I'll read numbers if you can't read them. The Penguins who are at 96, and the Flyers are at 94. These four teams, Columbus, Pittsburgh, New Jersey, all between 94 and 96 points. All of them have 2 games remaining. Philadelphia can end up in the second wild card. They can end up in the second best spot in the Metro. The Bruins, if they somehow win the division, which they're likely to, but you should be a little concerned about the probabilities now. They could face Pittsburgh in the first round. Who wouldn't love facing them in the first round? Columbus, who's a hard-nosed team in the first round. New Jersey, who's been in fuego lately, but I believe you take Taylor Hall out, I believe you can win that series. Hopefully Schneider doesn't go Martin Brodeur on us if we play them. And the Flyers, who are always a thorn in our side. You can face any of them. They could face anyone. Capitals, who they face, they don't know either. But the weird thing is Toronto's locked in, and the Capitals are locked in. So they can rest players, which they get a huge advantage going to the playoffs. I really don't want to be in the second spot here because Toronto is resting. They have nothing to play for. You're going to get a fresh Toronto team in the first round, which Toronto's young and fresh. That is a bad matchup for any team. Any team. They almost have an advantage by not having anything to play for right now. Tampa and Boston can rotate. We have the same points, 110, both of us. 2 games for Tampa, 3 games for us. Big advantage to us. We should feel like we're in a good spot, but we should be a little worried with how they played the last 2 games. And the last thing to go over is a team we played 2 times out of our next 3 games, Florida Panthers. I don't know what to think. I mean, technically they can pass. Florida can get up to 96 points because they have 3 games left. They're at 90 right now. They can pass the Flyers, Devils, and I'm not sure how tiebreakers work with Pittsburgh and Columbus. I can't imagine either of them don't get another point in their last 2 games. So I really don't think they're in danger, but I think Philly could be a little in danger if they slip up. But Florida plays us twice. So if Florida gets in, it's because we didn't get the number 1 seed in the Atlantic. So either we're winning the Eastern Conference and getting first seed, or Florida's getting in as a wild card. That's what it looks like. I mean, even if Florida wins all 3 games, they could not make the playoffs. But Florida has a lot to play for. Like, we beat them on Thursday, they're eliminated. I'm pretty sure they're eliminated if we beat them on Thursday. So you best believe you're going to get Florida's best punch on Thursday. And if we beat Florida on Thursday, well, that's a good thing because that means we can close out a team that really has a lot to play for. The last thing to note, which isn't really too important, is the President's Trophy. You kind of feel weird if you win it because, I don't know, you kind of have a expectancy to win the cup, and that puts a lot of pressure on the team. But Nashville is a clear front runner. 113, 2 games left. The Bruins have 3 games left. They'd have to win at least all 3 to probably get the President's Trophy. Vegas can get it if Nashville doesn't get another point and they win both theirs. Tampa can get it if they win both theirs and Nashville only gets 1 more point. I'm not sure how tiebreakers work. But it looks like it's Nashville's to lose, and it looks like Nashville will get it. But that's all I have to say. Bruins look like crap tonight. Hopefully they show up in the next game on Thursday against Florida, and we can forget about this and just call it a bump in the road. But the boys should be ashamed. I hope Bruce Cassidy yelled at them like John Cooper probably yelled at Tampa last Thursday when we played Tampa. But I've been your boy Patar98. I'll see you next time. Hit like if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you really like the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.